This is Michael J. Coyle with Metal Temple. I'm here with one of my all-time idols, Mantas. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing very well. A little tired with all the travelling, but ready to rock. And it's going to be a good show tonight.
Brilliant. So, I mean, this is the first actual. I mean, the last time I saw you was with Obituary as Empire of Evil, and now you're back as Venom Inc. I mean, how does that feel to come from doing one thing to bringing back something classic?
To be perfectly honest, it feels great. I mean, it all came around through Oliver Weisenhammer at the Keep It True Festival, who booked Empire of Evil to play, and the booking was done through Tony Dolan. So Oliver had said, you know, what about some Venom songs? And it was like, yeah, we play some Venom songs in the set. And then Oliver said, well, what if, you know, Abaddon was there, and then you got up and played some songs after the Empire set? So Tony Dolan contacted me and asked me about it, and I was hesitant. You know, there was a lot of trepidation there at first because I hadn't spoke to Abaddon since 1998, and I thought, do we really need to do this? You know, so we spoke again and again, and then eventually it was like, yeah, okay, then why not? Let's do it.
Nice. So I mean, after all these years, really, the Prime Evil era is back.
It is, and I mean, the amazing thing is we've met so many of the younger fans who say that they discovered Venom through Prime Evil. You know, they weren't even born when Welcome to Hell came out. And, you know, Tony says, you know, I don't care when you discover Venom as long as you discover Venom, which is true. But those albums now, you know, speaking to a guy that I've just done an interview with there, he says, you know, those albums were sort of overlooked at that period. But now, people are revering those albums, you know, as a valid part of Venom history, and they're a very valid part. You know, there's 3 albums there. There's the 12-inch single. We did a shitload of gigs, so it was a valid period of Venom's history.
Oh, exactly that. But it's really incredible because, you know, when I first saw you live with Empire and just playing those classic songs, this brought back a lot of nostalgia for a young fan like me who found you when I was 12, 13 years old. I actually found you through looking at this logo, the actual black metal devil logo, and I thought that looks pretty badass. And then I found there was an actual album behind it, and I was just really excited by the music. And honestly, to this day, getting to see this lineup actually doing this kind of set is just mesmerizing. And I mean, the major question really is, how have the younger fans reacted to these past few shows from the countries you played so far?
It's been incredible. I mean, you know, the Keep It True reaction was absolutely unbelievable and far exceeded any expectations. We didn't know that anything like that was going to happen. And from there came China and Japan, and then Heavy Montreal, and then, you know, this European tour. And it's like seeing the younger fans in the audience with, you know, the classic T-shirts on, and even fetching vinyls to be signed. It's amazing, you know. And if we're going to be a part of bringing this back, then all the better, as far as I'm concerned. But you know, you need those younger fans as well, because you need that revolving door of fans who come in all the time. But you need to evolve, because if you don't evolve, you become extinct. It's as simple as that. And I've got no intention of becoming extinct. So, you know, seeing young fans at the show is amazing. It's incredible, you know. And, yeah, obviously, there's a lot of older fans who are there. And we take them back to the time that they discovered Venom, and the overwhelming thing that we've had from the fans that we've met after the shows is, you know, it sounds exactly the way it did, you know. And my only answer to that is, well, it sounds that way because you've got the guys who did it playing it,
the originators.
Yeah, simple as that.
I mean, honestly, I will say as a fan, really, I've always preferred Tony's vocals to Conrad's. I always found that his vocals have something more than. I mean, I actually saw Conrad this year at Hellfest, and comparing it from the Empire of Evil show to that, I actually prefer Tony's stage presence and also the way he actually brings this energy, this really powerful, raw, classic energy, and showmanship as well, with the blood that's coming out of his
I would totally agree. I mean, it's Tony's my brother. I mean, we've known each other for so long. It's in excess of 30 years now, and he's a great performer to be with on stage. We have so much fun together on stage as well. It's incredible. And the photographs that I've seen of us looking at the shots from the concerts that we've just done, it looks like it's got that dangerous element to it again. It looks, I can't describe it. Somebody said, how does it feel now? I don't know, because it just seems like everything is happening again. The whole thing has become cyclic, and then all of a sudden, boom, this thing's happening again, and it's like, well, so be it. We're just going to ride the wave and see what happens.
So as a guitarist, I've seen through different cities, you've gone through a lot of different models of guitars, and now you're with Caparison.
Yes, right. Yeah.
What was it about Caparison guitars that actually attracted you, if I may ask?
Well, it was when we were doing the Onslaught tour. Jeff Williams, the bass player, he works for Caparison, and he said to me, "Have you ever thought of Caparison guitars?" And to be perfectly honest, at that point, I hadn't really heard of them. I'd always used sort of Ibanez or Jackson or something like that. And then I got an email saying, "We'd like to send you a prototype." So they sent me this guitar, and all I can say is it was one of those guitars that you pick up and you feel like you've played it forever. It felt so comfortable, and now I'm an absolute confirmed religious Caparison user. I can't see myself using anything else on stage in the studio. I mean, I still love Gibson Les Pauls and stuff like that. I've went back to the classic guitars, and the Caparison to me has got that classic feel about it, and I can't say enough about them. They're just very well crafted instruments.
They are.
The boutique instruments. They just feel right for me, and I wish I had discovered them years ago.
Yeah, because I noticed that the last time you were here, you were using a black model. Now you're using a new red model. Is that going to be a part of an upcoming series released, or is it another custom for the road?
No, the series is already released. It's the Angelus C2 series.
I mean, like a signature series.
Oh, well, I mean, if Caparison are going to listen to this or read this, I would love to have a signature model, but I think that'll be maybe a year or two down the line. I'm a relatively new endorsee. I think I've been with them about a year or something, but they've been very, very good to me. But it's something I would love to talk to them about a signature series.
Definitely. I mean, I've seen a lot of guitarists using, like Phil Campbell of Motorhead.
Yes.
And Christopher Amitz from Arch Enemy. Past. And they're a very great company, because I've actually played the Angelus model before, white one I think, and they have a very nice weight to them, and the necks are so comfortable.
They really are. They're a good. They've got as you say, they've got a good weight to them. They're very solid guitar, very roadworthy guitar.
Yeah, you can just whack it on the face and you couldn't dance it.
Oh yeah.
So what strings are you using at this time?
Strings at the moment is D'Addario. It's 52 to 10.
Cool.
That's the gauge I've used for a long time. So if D'Addario are listening, there you go.
And you're also using EMGs.
EMGs, I think it's 81, 85. I think it is.
The normal setup. Then you got the 81, 60, and so on and so forth. I personally prefer the Marzios myself, because I've always been a fan of that clarity of sound you can get from them. My dad uses the Marzio, so it's kind of like a conversion. Like, son, you're going to use these.
I used DiMarzios in the early days. I had DiMarzio Super Distortions. I do like I mean, because the stuff that we do is relatively, I wouldn't say it's totally high gain. I don't use a massively high gain sound, but the AMGs do help. They really do help. But I also like just the classic humbucker. I mean, the one other guitar that I've kept in my collection is it's an Epiphone Farina Flying V, and I love the sound of it. It's great for recording because it's got more of a classic sound. But I do like the AMGs.
So amp-wise, what's your setup these days, amp-wise?
Amp-wise, at the moment I'm using the Engel Powerball 2. I'm using a chorus, overdrive, delay, and that's it. Yeah,
Cool.
straight into the amp.
And do you use any effects, or do you just go straight in?
Straight in. I'm straight into the amp. Yeah, I mean, I was using the Line 6 XT Live for a long time because it's easy to transport.
I've got one of those.
I think they're great, but even then, on the XT, the sound that I had dialed in was an angle. So when this tour came around, I contacted the agent and says, I'll just take the angle Powerball. Yeah.
So looking back at the history of the band in general, from the first wave of them to the next wave, which out of all the albums you've ever done, which has been the most personal for you?
The most personal?
Yeah, like a certain album that you feel you put more of your heart and soul into than any.
I would probably say the first two, Welcome to Hell and Black Metal. Yeah, definitely those two albums. And I mean, and then when it came around and it was a renewed enthusiasm, then obviously Primeval as well. Yeah.
Very nice. And at this moment, is Venom Inc. looking to record anything new, or?
Absolutely. Yeah. We're going to be recording. There's 101 riffs on hard drive. There's songs at writing stage. There's songs at demo stage. So yes, there'll definitely be a new album from us. Yeah.
And what can we expect from this new material? Are we looking at a take back to the Primeval, or are we looking at a mixture of everything?
I think everything. We've already spoke about it and said that you know, we're not going to look back at the albums and say we need to write a song like this or this or this. We'll never re-recreate a Countess Bathory. We'll never re-recreate a black metal. Those were moments in time that just happened. Landmarks, yeah.
Edges in stone that can't really be retraced.
No, that's it. Those songs happened, and they happened for a reason. So that's what we're going to try and do. We're just going to try and let the music do the talk and let the music take us in the direction. But I think the one thing I've got to say about the new album, it'll be a band in a studio, as simple as that.
So on this tour, we have Venom Inc. and we got Vader both doing classic sets. I mean, how did that all come together? I mean, I know that Vader have always been a big fan of Venom. They've got black metal on the Necropolis album, and they've always taken inspiration from the band. But I'm wondering how that mixture really come together as a whole product.
Really through the agent in Holland. You know, we spoke about doing a full European tour, and straight away the first band that was mentioned was Vader. He says, I think it would be a great matchup, it would be a great package. And we were like, yeah, you know, you've got another classic band there. So we thought, rather than take some new act along with us, you know, we'll do the two classic bands, and then obviously we've got Divine Chaos with us as well, you know, and Witches, who have been going for a long time as well.
Nice. So I mean, looking back at your inspirations as a musician, would you say now, would you have any modern day inspirations when it comes down to your guitar playing?
Modern day inspirations?
Yes.
Zakk Wylde. I love Zakk Wylde's playing. I absolutely love his playing. But I still go back. I mean, 79 when I seen Judas Priest, that was it for me.
I'm a massive Priest fan myself.
Oh, fucking, that was it. I was absolutely confirmed Priest fan. But I have to say that if someone said to me, you can only listen to one guitarist for the rest of your life, it would be Gary Moore. You know, everything that he's ever done, Skid Row, Colosseum 2, fucking all his rock stuff, the blues stuff, the guy's incredible. And the other guy that I always cite, you know, is Frank Marino. So if someone granted me the wish of having the playing skills of three guitarists combined, it would be Frank Marino, Gary Moore and Zakk Wylde. I'm really into that kind of playing. I really do like it.
So when you first started getting the guitar, what was the main inspiration that pushed you into wanting to become a musician?
I mean, I'd always been into music. There was always music in our house as a kid. I mean, my father was a drummer. He was into the big band sort of swing area and stuff like that. And then as a kid, I started getting into Slade and T-Rex, and you know, then it was like the Sweet, and then Alice Cooper came along, and it was things were starting to get heavier and heavier and heavier. And then I remember the first single I ever bought with my own money was Seven Seas of Rye by Queen.
I love that.
Oh, great single. And then I discovered all the early Queen stuff, you know, like fucking Ogre Battle, fucking Brighton Rock, all that stuff. It was fucking great. And then I remember, again as a kid, being in a department store with my mother, and she went off to do something, and they had an old vinyl section. So I went along, and the vinyls were pretty beaten up and battered.
Yeah. Like that's like box in the corners.
Yeah, there was. I was just looking through these things, and I pulled out this album, and I just looked, and I was like, "Holy shit, what's that?" And it was Kiss Alive 1. And I looked through my pockets, looked at the pocket money that I had, and you know, it wasn't enough to buy it. So reluctantly, I put it back, pulled out the next album, which was Hotter Than Hell. And I thought, I've got enough to buy that, so I bought Hotter Than Hell, and that was it. You know, all the early Kiss stuff, fucking great. I love it.
So we're down to our final two questions, and the first one is: how does it feel to actually be named as one of the godfathers of the black metal genre?
Humbling. I've been asked that a lot, and I've been told that a lot. You know, you're this, you're that, you're a legend, you're an icon, all that kind of stuff. And sometimes I find it hard to take that on board. It's overwhelming, but it's very, very humbling to think that you've had so much impact on music or on people's lives or whatever it is. At the end of the day, I still see myself as a kid from Newcastle who wrote some tunes, and you know, people dig them. But you know, you've got to keep your feet on the ground. You have to.
Of course. And the final question is for the fans listening at home. Do you have anything to say?
Oh, exactly what I will say tonight that I say at every single concert, and it's this: never ever forget that you guys out there, you are the most important part of the music industry. You are the lifeblood, you are the oxygen of this industry, and without you guys, we don't exist. And for that, thank you just isn't enough, but that's all I have to say. Thank you so much.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for your time. It's been a real pleasure to actually. This is Michael J. Coyle, and you've been listening to myself and the legend that is Mantas, and stay tuned for more. Thank you.